welcome. I am Susie Finneyfrock. You are participating today in the Everyday Embodiment Masterclass experience. And it is my pleasure and honor to welcome Janet Raftis and Ina Lukas into the sacred container today. Welcome, Janet and Ina.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We're
It's
so
an
glad
honor to be
you're
here.
here.
Yes. Well, in this masterclass, Janet and Ina will be guiding us to align with the cycles of Gaia within, and we'll be channeling a shamanic activation for us today, which I am super excited for. So I want to be able to get like right into the heart of it. So if you're listening, please visit Janet and Ina's page in the masterclass portal. It's right where you're accessing this session. So you can read more about them and access the free gift that they have for you on this page, which they'll tell us more about that. So, Janet and Ina, we get to just sink right into this delicious space.
Yeah.
And we're here to really explore how we show up every day in this incarnated physical form and live connected to our highest potential. So,
Mm.
yeah, so when it comes to tuning in to the cycles, and so that we can live more aligned and embodied, where do you like to start?
Well, we really like to start with the difference between Chronos time and Kairos time. And so we are the co-head sorceresses of a magical trade school called Kairos Healers Academy. And the Healers Academy actually it's a year-long experience that moves with the cycles of the year. And what we have learned being in these female bodies is that our bodies and our rhythms do not align so much with Chronos time, with chronological time, and that this, for women especially, men have a different clock than women do. Though I would argue that men also move with the yearly cycles. We all have this, the circannual rhythm as well as the circadian rhythm. They're just a little more predominant in the circadian rhythm than we are. And so when we are forcing ourselves as women especially to really fit into this chronological calendar, Gregorian calendar time with the 24 hours, mapped out in an agenda every single day, that ultimately it becomes non-sustainable for us and we suffer from adrenal fatigue, burnout, overwhelm, collapse, illness. And when we shift that paradigm, when we begin to honor the way our personal cycle moves and how it moves in flow with Gaia's cycles, then our lives can completely change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And become easier and more relaxed and actually more sustainable because it's
Mm-hmm.
not actually sustainable for us to be living and pushing and forcing in Chronos time.
Yeah.
So, Chronos is linear time. That's how we're functioning in society is on this Gregorian calendar, this then that then boom boom boom, and Kairos is soul time,
Magic time.
magic time. That's Kairos is our actual natural state of being.
Mhm.
That's when we're living in flow with cycles, when we're allowing us ourselves to receive information from the environment around us, when we're tuned into our intuition, and when we're working in divine timing, synchronicity, and allowing ourselves to be part of Gaia, to be part of cycles, to be part of the magic and synchronicity of life, instead of trying to force ourselves to go against our nature.
Mhm.
I mean, it takes a lot of energy to force, right? It
Yes.
takes a lot of energy to go, go, go all day long. And what we have really noticed through, and we're works in progress. Like, I'm gonna be fully honest here. There's a reason that we are doing this, and that's because we suffered burnout. We've experienced it, and we are retraining ourselves. This is something. I mean, part of the magic of Kairos is that we really are dropping into that in a very intentional way throughout the year. But what we've noticed as we've done it, and as our students have done it, And as the nervous system relaxes into that space, because it's a more embodied presence in and of itself, being aligned with, in the winter, we are meant to rest more. It's
Mm-hmm.
darker, it's colder. Like that is
Mm-hmm.
the time that we regenerate. The summer, it's warm, it's beautiful out. Like we want to be outward, right? It's more like summer's that full moon energy. Winter is more of that dark moon, crescent moon energy. And there's when we surrender into what is already sort of available cosmically and through Gaia, then life becomes easier. And being in that Kairos time, that time of synchronicity, like stuff happens without the efforting because
Yeah.
you have the space to allow source to work with you.
It actually takes far more effort and energy to push against your natural state of being. And it's what causes exhaustion, adrenal fatigue. I mean, amongst all the things that we're bombarded with in society right now.
Yeah.
That is one major one. As you all know, we're also on screens and getting light, late at night and knocking us out of circadian rhythms. But it is important to remember that we are physical bodies on a cyclical planet. Like when we go into the universal realm, we are on a planet that is spinning.
It's spinning and spinning.
And rotating around another planet. Like our entire universe is a cyclical nature. Yeah. And our ancestry, our DNA is completely attuned and designed to work within the cyclical nature of the universe that we are a part of. We are not separate from it, but we have become separated from universal nature itself, which that separation is scarcity, fear, not enough time, money, because we're constantly, instead of realizing that we're in this, time, money is this expansive, flexible rubber band. Chronos is when you're crunching the rubber band and I don't have enough time and I don't have enough money and I don't have enough of anything. And that is contrasting our nature.
Yeah. And I just want to say that Ina is aware that we are not rotating around another planet. She knows that we are rotating around the sun. I will vouch.
Thank you.
That she does in fact know that.
We're just spinning. We're just spinning. Yeah. So good.
Right? It's an important piece, right? Because we are attuned to the sun and we're attuned to the darkness, right? And really what's happened in our society since the advent of electricity is that we are breaking the natural cycle in favor of a man-made technological cycle. Right? And so now we have the capacity to, they used to work when it was light outside.
Yeah.
And they were working with the land. And you didn't work when it was dark outside because you couldn't. And now we can. And because we're in this, we have names for it, on the hamster wheel, in the rat race. Like, because we're in that, and it's like, well, I can work until 8 o'clock because I have light. I'll just do it. And really, ultimately, what we're doing is we're disconnecting from our own bodies. We are disconnecting from Gaia. We are disconnecting and we are overriding our own body's signals because our body genuinely does not want us to work that late. It does not want us to be in artificial light. It wants us to attune to what is naturally available to us, what the human form has been attuned to for 2 million years.
I'm just realizing how instead of rotating around the sun, we're rotating around our computers as our new form of light and our new form of sustenance.
Yeah.
It's like
the computer, the calendar, the
and it's harsh on the nervous system too, right? Like our body is not meant to be taking in so much information. It's not meant to be doing so much. So our nervous system becomes activated. Well, if your nervous system is dysregulated and activated, as it is for most people,
Mhm.
these days because we are constantly being exposed to chronic stress, which is trauma in your body, as well as actual trauma experiences, right? That are not being, we in our society are not, don't have a healthy understanding of nervous system regulation. And so our nervous systems are all pretty jacked up. And all we have to really do is be standing in line somewhere to experience that, right? All around us and within us. And so with this, when we reconnect with Gaia, and we reconnect with the earth and we enjoy the seasons when, in the summer when we're out barefoot in the grass during the daytime, taking in the early morning sun, seeing the dusk, interacting with the experience. When in the fall, when we're noticing it's a little chilly out, oh, I need to put my shoes on now. Like when we're actually really like alive to the experience, oh, the leaves are falling off the tree, it's a time of release, right? This is a time of release. And it's like no mistake that we have eclipse season in Scorpio during fall, right? Like that is release. We all know. And so we go into it really knowing and expecting, like, okay, this is when I work with the energies around me, I know that this is the time to shed, right? This is the time. And the divine feminine has always known this. The goddess cults, the goddess religions, they knew this. They worked with this. That the power, the snake was so vital to the energy of the divine feminine because the snake sheds, releases, it lets go, just like the trees do. And we have forgotten how to do that. We're hoarders. We're hoarders in everything. We've got all the external stuff and we want to hold on to all the internal stuff too because we don't trust our bodies to be able to successfully release what is ready to go.
That's why we love death so much, and transition and transformation. And so part of embracing our cyclical nature is that process of really realizing that in order to create space for something new, parts of us have to shed, parts of us have to die. Otherwise, we are, like Janet said, we're stuffed, we're overstuffed with emotions and everything that we're holding on to. And there's so much relief and release and spaciousness that happens when we allow our natural death cycles to occur. It's why we live in a natural world that shows us how to die. And shows us rebirth and shows us that no matter what, you are always being reborn. There will always be winter and there will always be spring. There will always be emergence. And so in the wheel of the year, the beginning point of the wheel of the year is Samhain. It's the death cycle because any cycle that begins has to and has to have a release. And it has to have a death in order to begin. And any death is the beginning of a new cycle. And the more we're able to embrace that process, the more life becomes really juicy and fun because then we're no longer afraid.
We're not resisting, right? Because that resistance to the release is traumatizing to the body, right? It keeps us in the dysregulated state because we are bypassing or attempting to bypass what is alive within us, alive in the sense of wanting to move through and release, right? That's an aliveness in and of itself. And when we stifle that experience, we stifle our life force energy, right? So even though we're going into a period of shedding and release, and then the winter is like that cocooning time, right? We need that space of regeneration. The release to the regeneration Yule is a time of restoration because you're allowing your body to be quiet. Like we have to have sleep, right? Like we are trying to deny sleep as a society, right? With like whatever those monster drinks and like over caffeination and all of the stimulation and the sugar and all of this. We are again like bypassing to stay awake longer because we can now because we have lights and television. So we're doing that all the time. And so what used to be a time of real bodily restoration has now become, we're just as active in winter as we are in summer. And our bodies, want that time to restore. They need that downtime, just like we need sleep. They need that downtime so that all of the systems with us, so we can, detoxify, so we can receive. Like the dark moon and winter are, when you're aligning with those cycles, it is a powerful time to receive and connect with spirit and connect with your higher self and really get those messages, because in the summer you're naturally doing more. It's not a time so much to receive but to put into action. It's a more of the divine masculine energy, that solar energy. But if we receive the nuggets during, if we're quiet enough in the winter to receive the nuggets, to plant, to know what to plant in the spring, then by summer we're ready to go with it, and we know what we are. We're like on, we're aligned, we're on path, we've listened, we've tuned in, we've allowed the information to come from source to implant itself, and now we're ready to work with it.
So if we push ourselves through winter and we push ourselves through the restful period, then by the time we get to big summer, full sun energy, we're fried.
Yeah.
And that, so also we have the annual cyclical wheel that's going around, and then we have the monthly lunar cycle that's happening in us too. And so winter is that fertile void, that going down, going within, is aligned to when you are bleeding on your period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in that same way, every month we are going through that same cycle of the bleed, the fertile void, the going down, and resting into our menstrual cycle. And then, as we come out of it, we emerge into the spring energy. And when we're ovulating, that's when we're magnetic. That's summer, where it's like, come hither, like that's the time where you're drawing energy in, you're magnetic, you're lit up, you're you're
Yes.
you're summoning in
Yeah.
conception.
Well,
And,
it's so interesting to hear this. And I live in a place where I have four seasons. I'm very connected into these four seasons, and I see around me quite often that summer, right? Summer is this ease, it's easy. There's this ease of summer. There's, we don't need as many layers of clothing. There's daylight longer. There's, we can just the warmth brings ease. And then winter, right? And a lot of people go inward for winter, and they're maybe in this relationship with even looking forward to winter and curling up on the couch, but then, turning on Netflix,
yeah,
Right.
which doesn't quite count, right? It's
Right.
and so what I'm really wanting to ask you to speak into a little here is the ways that you encourage people, women, men, to support the like un stimulated
Mm-hmm.
relationship with this space, right? So like to that invitation to release all the stimulation in those cycles, in those periods, so that that relationship can deepen.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we're not meant to be stimulated 365 days a year, not highly stimulated, right? And we do absolutely need that time of withdrawal. And the winter is a great time, yeah, to be cozy on the couch with your pet, with your partner, with your kids, right? It's a time to connect in the intimate relationships with yourself as well. It's a time to journal. It's a time to sip your favorite tea. It's a time to connect with spirit and sit with your altar. Whatever it is that allows you to be nourished and resourced within your own body, right? And so what we have to do is we have to be really diligent to create that time, because we've become accustomed to the conveniences, the Netflix, the stuff, right? And ultimately, the hard part for most people, and this has been my experience in the past as well, is that we don't want to feel the stuff. We want to stay
right.
stuffed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And we
And
don't quite
so
know how to be with ourselves.
Right.
Exactly. And so winter is the time to be with yourself, and you have to really commit to that. That has to be an inner commitment. It might require healing because when you're quiet, your stuff will come up. And that is it's to be able to see that as a blessing. Like one of the things we teach in Kairos is it's when we're able to lean into the seasons, when we're able to lean into the triggers, when we're able to lean into the emotions, that's when they actually move through us. It takes so much energy. It is so hard. It is so self defeating to continue to stuff. And watching TV all night long or consistently throughout your day not attending to, right? If you create any time throughout your day to be quiet with yourself, you are actually being present to what is available within you. And that is the ticket. And for somebody, that might be in the morning. For another person, it might be in the evening. For somebody, it might be midday. You have to tune in to when you enjoy the quiet time the most. For some people, it is first thing in the morning, right? For some people, it's right before bed. So it's really like noticing what is my rhythm, and how can I prioritize? When can I prioritize this in a way that feels good to me? Because if you're trying to do it, if you're not a person to do it first thing in the morning, you're not going to do it. Right? If you are some random person who likes to do it at 2:19 in the afternoon, then make your schedule around that so that from 2:19 to 3:04, you can be present to what's alive inside of your vessel.
And it's so important to remember that the innate wisdom of Mama Gaia, of the earth itself, and that in each season, nature provides foods that are aligned with the season too. So that's a simple thing, is like notice what you're eating seasonally. In the fall, it's root crops, right? It's things that can be stored, the squashes, the pumpkins that are carrying us into winter in rooting energy, in grounding, nourishing energy that is going to sustain us through that hibernation period of winter. Whereas in the spring, Mother Nature is like stinging nettles and, asparagus fronds and all those like fiddleheads and cleansers. So nature gives us natural cleansers coming out of hibernation. The foods that are available, dandelion, burdock, all of that starts to purify and cleanse as we're coming into spring cycles. So there's so many ways that you can approach embodying seasons, but thinking seasonally, eating seasonally aligns our bodies even more so with what's happening. Because each of those foods hold codes.
Yeah.
They hold medicine. They hold healing. And so it's like its own medicinal path to move through the seasons of the year with the foods that nature is providing as medicine for us.
Yeah, nature is always reflecting back to us what our body needs, right? And this may vary a little bit. Some people live in areas where winter is very extended or where summer is very extended. So that's the part where you also have to be really attuned to you. But being attuned to yourself is an exercise in honesty, right? Am I pushing right now, or am I really like, is this really aligned? Because you might get a download in the middle of the winter for the greatest program you've ever, like you're like, oh my God, and you're feeling it move through you, right? So it's not to negate that maybe there's something working here with you, but it is to take into consideration, I still need more rest. We're still in winter. So how can I allow this creation to come through me because it's so alive in me, I want to do it, and it feels like the timing's right? That's real in some cases. In some cases, it's not. In some cases, it is an escape mechanism. It's I need to keep busy because something's about to come up. Oh, I got this great idea.
I'll go do that instead of rest.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to do that instead of cry, or And so
Right.
it's really it's self-discipline, and it is. And when you're attuning to cycles and you're really conscious of like, I am going to attune to the cycle. What is going on with Gaia right now? How does my body feel about that? Where am I in alignment with Gaia, and where am I resisting Gaia right now? Where am I resisting myself right now? And the more you cultivate that practice of really even taking 5, 10 minutes just to like question, where am I in relationship to Gaia right now?
Mhm.
What is happening in my body? How can I embody right now? We're in Samhain. How can I embody, or about to be in Samhain, how can I embody the energy of this release? Right? How can I really hold the space of that is what is appropriate right now? And if you're honest with yourself in that exercise, you will start to notice these natural shifts within you
Mm-hmm.
that ultimately make your life easier.
Yeah. Yeah, that sense of like relaxation. I just felt that wave of relaxation moving through me as you were
Yeah.
saying that. Yeah.
and and bringing more awareness to every 6 weeks
Mm-hmm.
the seasons turn.
Yeah.
Every 6 weeks, as if we are here at the beginning of the wheel of the year
Mm-hmm.
in Samhain, that every 6 weeks we're then either moving into the equinox, the solstice, or a cross quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start to tune into that wheel of the year
Mm-hmm.
cyclical time, then on the solstices, on the equinoxes, you can create an altar. You can tune into the energy of that season and sit with yourself, journal, um, you know, feel the energy of that season and follow it through the
Mm-hmm.
course of those next 6 weeks. Notice when the wheel of the year turns again. What did you get out of what was the process that you got out
Mm-hmm.
of that summer season, out of that fall season? What are you letting go of at the end of that 6 week
Mm-hmm.
cycle? And then what are you stepping into as this new 6 week cycle turns? The more you start really getting tuned into each of those turnings of the wheel of the year, the more you can release, open, intend, create altar, create ceremony, connecting to all of that, connecting to moon, new moon, full moon,
Mm-hmm.
cycles, embodiment statements, release statements with the moons, the more we just start getting really attuned to our nature. And what we'll find is, yes, there's the wheel of the year, but then individually we have our own seasonality that's based on what month we were born in, what
Mm-hmm.
date we're born in. And so we have our own cycle within that. And when you really start tracking that stuff, like I've been tracking my new moon, full moon, embodiment and release statements for several years now, and I actually have them all spreadsheeted out, and I can see how at each, for me, my personal cycles of when I go through stuff through the year it's crazy how we're moving up that upward spiral, but stuff comes around again, right? And so the more we're kind of tracking and seeing how we're moving through the seasons, then the more we can surrender into it. We can be aware. Ooh, in March, that's always my intense time.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
whew, okay, I'm not going to put a lot on my plate at that time. I'm going to be,
Yeah.
chilling, like just noticing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Honor the.
that is huge. The like getting to know our own patterns and cycles so that we can really honor ourselves and how we
Yes,
are functioning and
yes.
how we are operating. And the 6 week cycles, the tracking in that way
Mm-hmm.
because it's like yeah, if it's one thing to be in the seasons, and if you're really living in places where you experience all the seasons, then there is a different relationship to them. But if you're living in Hawaii or in, like other places in the world where
Mm-hmm.
there are not seasons, and I have lived in those places, and it is an incredible experience to be in a place where it feels like time doesn't pass. Like that was my experience. I was like, it feels like time. No wonder why everybody moves slower here. There's
Yeah.
no sense of like I have to get my summer energy out, right?
Yeah,
And so
Mm-hmm.
and it is a very different lifestyle and it's a very
yeah,
different experience. But so having all these different points of entry and pathways to being in sync with the cycles is really supportive.
Yeah, and for those of because I've lived same thing. I've lived in places with no seasons, and if that is you, then what you can do is nature is still cueing you.
Yeah.
It's still cueing you by
Energy.
when the fruit is on the tree, when, the winds are coming, when it's rainier.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's always going to be these little cues. And then you can start to really notice how those things affect you. Like I really noticed during the dark moon that is when my energy is much lower. So I'm going to take all of, those 3 days a month to really drop in, and restore. And during the rainy season, I'm gonna, I'm gonna take advantage of the fact that it's raining outside and really stay inside and just snuggle with my dog. Right, so we can still look to, even if it's sunny and 85 degrees year round, we can still look to nature and how those different natural influences interact with our own organism. We're a part of an ecosystem. We are animals. We are a part of we have come to believe somehow that we are distinct from it, that we are the overlords of it, that we are separate from it, but we are animals.
Yes.
Of course we interact with the ecosystem.
Yes, we are the ecosystem.
Yeah.
We are a part of
We
it.
are a part of it. And
Yeah.
when we, the other thing, and this is not necessarily for your audience because your audience is probably not fully plugged into toxic patriarchal structures, right? But like when we are really present to Gaia, we come into a much more harmonious and mutually respectful space with it. We start to notice the harms that are being committed against her. We start to naturally up our care of Gaia game, right? Like because we're really interacting with her and we're honoring her, communicating with her, we we cultivate that relationship with her, and it changes how we work with her.
I think that's our entry point.
I think so. Feels like it.
Woo! All right. So we are going to bring you into a shamanic activation here, activating a more attuned state of your cyclical nature. And so Janet and I are, so this is not a meditation. This is a shamanic activation. Janet and I are both channels. I channel a collective called the Alchemists. Janet channels the divine feminine. There's light language that comes through, which is a universal language that overrides the mind. And it's a language that probably many of you who are listening in actually speak, even if you haven't heard it before. It may sound familiar. It may awaken remembrance within you. So as we go through this, your eyes are going to be closed through all of it. We are not doing something to you. We are working with, you are all sovereign beings. We are working with your divine teams, whether you're who's ever listening into it. we are receiving a transmission for the collective energy that's being drawn through us. And so the more you just allow yourself to receive, working with your own divine team, the more potent the journey is.
Yes. So if you're listening to this while driving a car or doing anything like that, stop and wait until you can get someplace where you can really lie down, get cozy, and be surrendered. These are very active transmissions.
All right. So just closing your eyes, allowing yourself to get in a comfortable position, whether you're sitting up or laying down. Just starting to bring your awareness to your breath. As you're inhaling and exhaling. Just allowing your energy to start settling into your body as you're beginning to release the external world, just handing over any whirling thoughts in your mind, handing them over to your divine team, letting them handle everything that doesn't need to be on your plate right now. handing over Chronos time, handing over linear time, handing over the to-do list, handing over the push, force. Hu tuye koto u tuye atie u tuye atie. Hu tuye atie u tuye atie ye koto ye nana. And if you're open and willing to receive your natural state of being, your cyclical nature, if you're open and willing to receive this healing within yourself, of letting go of more of that Chronos time, that patriarchal time, if you're open and willing to receive that divine feminine goddess, cyclical Gaia nature, just say yes. I claim this healing for myself. I claim this activation of allowing myself to receive and be more and more and more in sync with my natural rhythms, with the earth's natural rhythms. Hu tuye anaye, u tuye anaye. So whatever your intentions are, just speak them, say them out loud, say them internally, setting your intentions for this activation. And claiming them, saying, yes, I receive this. I receive. Hutuye atie utuye anaye atie uye kotutuye nana utuye nana utuye kotu uyena atie utuye nana anate huye kotu utuyena ayekata atiena uye kotutuete hutuye hanaye.
Opening yourself here to your ancestral lineage and connecting into your ancient ancestry, the ancestry that lived in alignment with the cycles, going back, all the way back to the Neolithic, the Paleolithic, all the way back to your distant relatives who were fully aligned with Gaia, who lived their lives in complete alignment with Gaia, who lived in reverence with Gaia, who worshipped the entire ecosystem of Gaia, of flora, fauna, humanity, how it all worked together, how it all flowed together, and allowing yourself here to surrender into what is already within you. It is in your genes. You already have the keys and codes to cyclical living within you. They're present within you. They've been handed down over thousands of years, thousands, hundreds of thousands of years. The keys and codes to this type of life have been alive within you, and they're ready to awaken fully, to come online here. And as they activate, as these codes begin to activate, as your ancestors pull this through you, as they support you in pulling it through you, allow for that which is in resistance to it to begin to fall away.
I release from my body, I release from my body, I release from my body artificial cycles. I release from my body, I release from my body all the ways that I push against my nature. Hayakoto tuyenanaye. Tuyenanaye. Tuye. Hukutuyena atiyena yekotoyete. Nice deep breath in. Shaking out your body, shaking out your body. And just starting to release from your body all the ways that you are not, all the ways that you've been programmed, all the ways that you've been instructed, all the ways that you've succumbed to that are not your nature. I release from my body, I release from my body all of the ways that I have been trained to push against my natural state of being. Ukuteye, utuye. Tuyanana, clearing your pineal gland. Huinana, Atayana, Kututuyanana, Atayanana, Atayana. Activating that remembrance within you. Hukututuyanana, Utuyanana. Activating the remembrance within you, and as that remembrance of your cyclical nature, of your connection to Mama Gaia, to the ecosystem, is starting to come online, feeling the falling away Huyikutu Utuyana of patriarchal conditioning. Hutuyana, Hayana, Atiyu.
The artificial cycles are relatively new to your system. They are relatively recent in economy. And so you have the capacity here to disengage from them. What is most within you is the remembrance. The remembrance is more powerful within you than the conditioning is. But it is a belief system change. It's an upgrade in how you perceive yourself. It is a shift in how you interact with the world. It is a desire. This is simple to activate because it is you. You are a cyclical being. You are a part of the ecosystem. It is who you are. And all that is needed is really, truly the desire to release the systemic conditioning that has been placed on you, to allow yourself to remember who you already are. You already are a cyclical being.
I release from my body. The side effects of the Industrial Revolution. I release from my body the side effects of the Industrial Revolution. They are not deep within you, dear ones. They are not deep within you. You can release these side effects. You can release the distortion in your field. It is not deep. Your DNA, your ancestral cyclical DNA, is far more powerful. It is far stronger. Clearing. Allowing your team to work with you, your non-physical team, your guides working with you, your ancestors here working with you, releasing the programming, releasing the distortion, surrounding you in so much love as the remembrance is coming in, feeling how loved you are in your cyclical nature.
Feeling your body in this moment and tuning to the world around you, whether you're in the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, regardless of the season. Like, what is your season? What is your season? Allowing your body here to attune to the season. We are allowing you to become that calibrated being, calibrated to the season that is outside your window, that is underneath your feet, that is shining on your face, allowing you to calibrate to the rhythm of Gaia and to the transmissions of Gaia that are occurring right now for you, allowing your feet to take those transmissions up from the earth and into your body, and allowing your body to be infused by the season that you're in, allowing your body to really receive from Gaia the keys and codes of the season that you're in, reminding you of where you are in this rotation around the sun, reminding you of where you are in the rotation of night and day, of season, of cycle, of time of year, allowing yourself to receive all of the codes that are pertinent to your physical being in this exact moment of your experience. Being fertilized by Gaia, fertilized by your Gaia keys and codes, that the fertilization process occurring within the soles of your feet and infusing your entire being with the deliciousness of the season that you are in.
Utuye ataye anayikatana utuye kututuye tatayana ayekutu utuye. I receive huyukutuye. I receive her. I receive her through my body, through my veins, through the pulsing of my heartbeat. Activating that primal nature, the circadian rhythms, remembering your cyclical nature. Your body knows. Your body is filled. Your body is filled with millions of biological clocks that are syncing, pulsing. Your body knows daily rhythms. Your body knows sleeping rhythms. Digestion rhythms. Evacuation rhythms. Intake, nourishment, release. Intake, nourishment, release. Resting, then remembering, allowing your body to inform you. I am listening. I am listening. I am listening to my body. I am listening to my innate nature. I receive. I receive. I receive my surrendered state of knowing.
Allowing your nervous system to relax into that surrendered state of knowing. Allowing your nervous system to regulate to surrendered state of knowing. Trusting that your nervous system desires the downtime, desires to regulate with Gaia. It desires to co-regulate with the ecosystem around you. It desires to be a part of, with, and among, rather than fighting against. It desires to be soft and supple when in a rested state. It desires to only have to spike when danger is truly present. It desires to be a guide for you in accordance with the environment you are living in. And as you allow that co-regulated state here, remind your nervous system again, I am listening. I am listening. I am listening.
I hear you, dear one. I hear you. I am listening to you, dear body, dear heart. I am listening and I hear you. And I will no longer go against you. I'm ready to listen deeper. I'm and receive you more deeply. And follow your cues. Follow your wisdom. Dear body, you are so wise. You are so wise. You are so wise. Dear body, I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to receive your wisdom, to follow through with it, to understand it. I'm ready to receive my own innate wisdom. Ukutuye, atayena, hutuye, atayena, atayena, utuyena. Omagaya, yena yukata atayena. I'm ready and able to receive you more deeply. Hutuyenana, utuyena, uyukoteya, ukotoye. The calling, the sounds of the birds, the animals, the hibernation, the plant cycles, huyukutu utuyenana, the tracking of the seasons, the tracking of nature around me. I am able to track, I am able to see, I am able to hear, I am able to perceive how nature is informing me, utuyena, atayena, uyukutuye, utuyena, of my cyclical nature. Hanaye, utuye. I am friends with the animals, I am friends with the plants, I am able to hear them, I am able to perceive their communication in new ways. Activating that primal nature, the primal knowing. You are not too far gone, dear ones. We want you to get that. You are not too far gone. You are in a moment on earth where you can shift back into that place of remembrance, where you can shift the course of humanity right here, right now. Each of you rebalancing, each and every one of you rebalancing. Creates a seismic shift throughout the collective of humanity. We want you to remember. We want you to remember who you are. Embracing your unique nature. Your cyclical nature. Breathing into your body, activating that nature, that rhythm within you. Nice deep breath in. Moving your body. Anchoring into your body. Feeling those shifts within you, allowing yourself to be in your body. After you listen to this, go outside and dance and roll on the earth, make love to the earth, hug trees in ways you never have before, become one with all the nature that surrounds you.
Yeah. I needed that.
Oh my God.
Wow. 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 Wow.
That was
That was
awesome.
awesome. Whew. Exactly what the medicine woman ordered.
That was exactly what the medicine woman ordered. Jen and I needed that, so I'm glad that
I
you
needed that.
are
Whoa.
listening in.
Yeah. Well, and it is that activation, right? Oh my goodness. I mean, my whole body, I mean, it was just, there's so much movement. There's so much happening. And what a gift. What a gift. Wow.
What just happened?
You
We
know
just
what?
activated our cyclical nature.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And I have learned, and I have, I have definitely learned in the last couple years that sometimes there are no words, and that is totally okay. There is, that is just to receive, just to receive.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we encourage you to really allow yourself to be in this bubble, to move with your body however it wants to move as this activation is integrating within you. It's going to keep doing its work on you. The activation is going to continue over the next 24, 48, many cyclical rotations. And each sleep cycle, especially over the next few sleep cycles, whether you need to take a nap after this, that would be completely normal. Or as you go to bed tonight, set the intention that this activation is continuing to integrate within you. Because when we're in that sleep state, our brain is offline and our body can do the deeper work integrating it, just like a computer getting new software. It needs to restart and reboot. So honor your tiredness. If you're tired, take a nap. Don't try and push yourself through over these next few days, especially because we just did huge work. That was no small thing.
That was no small thing.
Yeah.
Mm. Thank you,
Yeah.
Susie, for
Yeah.
allowing us space to bring that through for all of us.
Yes,
And,
thank you for
so
creating this
good.
amazing experience of
Yeah.
all the teachers and the master classes, bringing people into embodiment. It's just so powerful and huge.
Well,
Yeah.
this is going to be such a compliment for any other masterclass that's happening out there. In the portal, everyone will see that there's like, if you enjoyed this, then don't miss this, right? So, like, there are definitely complementary sessions, and this is one that I feel like let's just all start here. I
I love it.
Yeah, because this
Start
talk
with
about
physical alignment and then we can receive, right?
well,
We
and to
it's our
really
North Star.
feel in the body in this way, to open and receive. Yeah, and just that the message that was coming through. I am open. I'm open to receive. I am here to learn. I am here, just all of these beautiful things that came through that were just we're here to be in these bodies to learn the ways to feel resourced and feel connected and feel supported. And it is like, it is my I when to raise the feminine spirit on this planet, right? To this is how, and that we bring ourselves back into harmony, that we have to, like, bringing the feminine spirit back into balance, and with the sacred masculine, and from this place, then we really can, we grow and evolve humanity. So when when we are giving ourselves permission to align with the cycles, with our own cycles, and do this work ourselves, the impact that that has on everything around us, everyone, everything that we're engaging with is just so powerful. So that is what this activation I feel like can do for all the participants here
Love that.
is to bring that connection in self, and then when going out and engaging in these other master classes to just getting that much more of the medicine that's coming through. So
I love
Yeah,
that.
that's beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
We have a is it the
We
witch
have,
wound?
yes, the witch
Yes.
wound healing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, our free gift
Mhm.
that is there with our information is if you enjoyed this activation, um, we have a very potent witch wound healing activation that is all about clearing your expression, your voice, years and lifetimes of persecution for bringing your gifts into the world. And if you identify with not being able to fully express your gifts, you know, if as
Or even yourself, right?
yeah,
If you have fear around voicing your opinion, your what you believe, you know, that this is a powerful activator because a lot of that, some of it's from this lifetime, and also it is ancestral and it is from your soul lineage. These are real things that have been this, you know, the fear of persecution for being ourselves essentially is alive within us still, just as we have the cyclical living alive within us. We have, you know, thousands of years of persecution for being in our natural feminine power.
it's
Yes.
a potent activation.
Yeah.
So
Well, I will say that I didn't do the activation. I haven't done your activation, but in September I had a very, very powerful healing of this myself, of just lifetimes of healing that came through. And it's I feel like for anyone who is listening, and sometimes we can be aware of those things that are, we can be aware of these snags that might be keeping us or holding us back from expressing ourselves fully, and sometimes we just don't know why. Like, what is getting lost? Where's what's getting lost in in the transmission here? And so anyone feeling that as well, just like not quite sure, like what, why is my message not coming through, or why is this not landing the way that I think it might, or whatnot. So, um, and that powerful way to heal the lifetimes of what we may not even be aware of, and giving the
yeah,
space for that level of deep healing.
yeah,
Yeah, and
Wow.
how perfect that you did that massive witch wound healing as you were preparing to bring this into the world. That's
exactly, exactly.
Well, here is this thing. I'll just share this because it's kind of fun that I have been in a very winter season, right? From February, and I'm thinking to myself in my business, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is going to happen. I just don't know if it's going to happen, right? It's not feeling like every time I would come to a point in where I was like, "Oh, this could be the idea. This could be the thing." I'd like explore it a little bit and then get the no, 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 not that, not this, not, not time.
Mm-hmm.
And it really was in September of just this past fall where, the inspiration came in, and and it was me, the release was the letting go. It was like I needed to let go in order to create enough space for this project in its third year, right? The third iteration. It wasn't like I didn't know what I wanted to do, but for it to come into life and have the life of its own, which it does take on, and I needed to have the space for that. And so yeah, I love that you were perceptive to that, you know. too.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you
Wow.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes.
you, Susie, for having us
Yeah.
as teachers in your master class.
Yeah, and thank you everyone
Yeah.
for being here with us. This was great. Thanks for helping to draw that through us.
Thanks for the cyclical nature party. It's like a little Gaia rave.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh,
Back to ourselves.
yeah.
All
Well,
right.
thank you,
Thank
Ina,
you.
Janet, and thank all of you who are tuning in today. This masterclass really is here for you to explore the ways that you can reconnect, activate, as we did today, and really deepen into your innate body wisdom every single day. Right? This is how we live our greatest and highest potential. So I just encourage you to really expand into your community here, meet the members that are coming in from all around the globe, and really take advantage of the ease of the access that you have to these amazing women here today, Jana and Ina, and leave comments about how this session supported you and how the activation supported you and how that integrates into your life. So, yes, thank you so much, sisters, for being here today.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.